This week on Newsy Tonight, an important series all about something missing: water. We call it the Great American Drought, exploring the devastating effects in cities big and small. Tonight, imagine a town with no toilets. Not by choice. I don't have to tell you that. That's a near reality for one coastal town in California. It's exhausted every option. What is plan B for water? Newsy meteorologist Scott Withers is in Mendocino as businesses pray for rain.
The picturesque Northern California coast. Giant redwoods stretching to the sky. Pacific Ocean waves crashing against the rocky cliffs.
We're in a really bad situation. This is one of the worst droughts in the last 100 years.
Mendocino, just feet away from the largest water source on the planet, running out of water. Tourists flocking to town, enjoying the food at the Good Life Café and Bakery.
Decaf latte?
Owner Teddy Winslow stressing each day.
We're on the edge of closing for a day here and there to recover.
Every morning, Teddy checking the levels in her water tanks, hoping there's enough to stay open all day. The property's well not pulling up enough water for the 7 apartments and businesses it supports.
I got that medium chai for Ron.
Forcing Teddy to change the way she's doing business.
So you don't even have enough water right now to flush the toilets?
No. Well, not for the customers.
Emily, we got Jake's family at the window.
They're her top priority, spending thousands of dollars buying water from delivery trucks almost every other day just to stay open.
That's true.
Town Services Supervisor Ryan RHOADES stressing as well.
We have over 420 privately owned wells within 1 square mile. Imagine 420 straws of various lengths in 1 glass of water. You know, my job is to keep as many of those straws in the water for as long as possible.
The straws slurping up the last of the water on the bottom of the town's aquifer. Despite mandatory 40% cutbacks, the old hand-dug wells drying up after years of drought. The town turning to neighboring cities, buying water. But now, those cities stopping the sales because they're running out too. Mendocino's shallow aquifer and hand-dug wells not keeping up with the tourist demand.
And part of the problem is these old historic homes weren't made to be Airbnbs or bed and breakfast or restaurants, and that's actually draining more water out of the aquifer.
You're absolutely right. But they're here, and we depend on them, and so we have to figure out ways to help them survive and be sustainable.
Public restrooms closing. There's not enough water to flush the toilets. The town hiding porta potties out of sight for the tourists to use.
And there's one right here, and I wouldn't have known it unless you pointed it out.
Well, that's exactly what we want to hear.
The water officials here in Mendocino say they need at least 40 inches of rain between October and April to recharge the aquifer under my feet. But they really need more than that to avoid a drought like this again next year.
The state sending in 10,000 gallons a day to help, but the town needing 35,000 gallons to operate. The mega drought drying up reservoirs like Lake Mendocino, limiting the sources of water in the region.
I think we're going to need a couple of robust years even to kind of bring the reservoir storage conditions back up to where we, like to see them.
The long-term forecast predicting average precipitation at best.
There is a solution. It is not an easy solution.
Professor Samuel SANDOVAL, specializing in water accounting at UC Davis.
There are no longer silver bullets. We will have a suite of silver solutions.
He's advocating for more reservoir and aquifer storage, reusing wastewater on a larger scale, reassigning how much water goes to businesses and farms, and accounting for every single drop. Teddy encouraging the town of Mendocino to consider building a desalination plant, using the abundant water just 2 blocks away in the Pacific Ocean. But there's no water distribution pipes underground, so just building an expensive plant won't solve the problem.
Because it makes me question the value of the business. If I were to think about, ever selling it, what is it worth without water?
In a town running out of water and still searching for solutions. I'm Newsy meteorologist Scott Withers.